Secret Life of Pets. Pet is directed by a pair of directors with strange names.
Yeah.
You don't remember them?
Chris Yarrow.
Oh, I didn't know I was supposed to remember. I didn't know I was supposed to remember these names.
I told you to. Well,
No, it's Yarrow something.
Yarrow Katarami. Yarrow Katarami. And Blake Nelson.
Felix is getting restless. He's definitely not wanting to be on my lap right now. The young and the restless.
It's a cat. A cat.
One original idea of this movie is, like, the protagonist of this movie is his owner's favorite. His owner decides to get a new pet. This pet infringes on the protagonist's role as the favorite pet to his owner. So he decides to have an idea of getting rid of the new pet. But in the middle of his plan of getting rid of the new pet, him and the new pet get lost and have to go on an adventure. And within this adventure, they begin to form a relationship with each other.
Yeah, are you sure that's actually that original? Because of my knowledge, that was on freaking Toy Story! Okay, anyway. So, first of all, that's our, that's probably our first bad thing about this movie, was the fact that this movie, I noticed, and it took me a while to actually notice it, but, you know.
Yeah, and like you say, DreamWorks is actually starting to, like, want to be like Pixar. Like, they even added a little short film inside the
which is understandable. Illumination is starting to try to do the new, you know, they're trying to be the new
Did I say DreamWorks?
What?
Did I say DreamWorks?
Well, I think they might be the same thing. I think they might be in the same realm, but I'll say Illumination from here. They're the new computer animation, the big computer animation thing. Started out with Despicable Me, which is great.
Right, and the Minions.
Yeah, and I don't find the Minions very.
Minions.
Yeah, I don't like them that much. Anyways, so they're trying to get there, and that's fine. But this movie is extremely like Toy Story. Like, I'm not gonna lie, because it's even like the title, not really the title, but Toy Story. What is it about? What toys do when you're not around?
Right. Yeah.
What is this movie about? Secret Life of Pets. What pets do when you're not around?
That's true. Yeah.
And so
yeah, I never thought about that part. I mean, I realized that was a lot like Toy Story, but I didn't think about that.
Yeah, and then also, you know, we just said a while ago about the plot line. And so this movie was actually, I'm not gonna lie, I actually did enjoy this movie. You know, there was nothing really that bad about it. I thought it was actually pretty funny. I actually did laugh quite a bit.
Yeah, Kevin Hart was probably the best part of the movie.
Yeah, his rabbit's character. Yeah.
He's freaking hilarious in this movie.
It was really good. Like, the only, like, if I'm gonna go with something else that was bad, I'm gonna say maybe a few of the voice acting, the voice actors were a little awkward.
Yeah, no, I think it was Dana Carvey. I could be wrong, but I think it was Dana Carvey that played the old dog with the wheels, and the girl who played the cat, the main cat, the fat one, because there's another one that's skinny, but the main fat cat, I didn't really like those two voices because I thought it was just a little weird.
Yeah, little fluff ball.
Yeah, well, actually, I don't know. There's something about her voice that I actually sort of like. It's just, I don't know.
No, I got you.
Adorable.
Yeah, I got you.
She plays on Bob's Burgers and Zootopia too.
Yeah,
I forgot her name though.
Yeah, I got you. And like, even though the movie was actually like really funny, I feel like there's a lot of parts in this movie that this is what I feel. I feel like there's a lot of parts in this movie that actually were not as funny as they're intended to be.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I actually thought that most of their funny parts that they wanted to be funny were actually pretty funny. But I know what you're saying. I think a lot of it added to that was the fact that most of the funny parts were in the trailers. Like the entire like 10 to 15 minutes, like that entire beginning of the movie was the trailer.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's not that big of a deal. But actually, like most of the movie is pretty funny. The thing that I didn't like most about it was that the plot. Like, I didn't have a problem with the plot. I mean, other than the fact that it's similar to Toy Story, I just didn't really like how they did it. Like some of the parts got a little ridiculous on what they were doing. Like a little.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the movie itself is unrealistic because it's about pets who talk and all that and
Yeah.
human stuff. But some of it got a little too ridiculous. I think 2016 is the year where animals learn to drive.
Oh yeah.
Considering how Finding Dory,
Finding Dory.
there's animals driving.
Yeah.
This one, there's a whole bunch of animals.
Yeah, that's
driving.
true. There's a lot of scenes where animals are driving in this movie.
Yeah.
A lot of scenes like that. My biggest problem, and I think we discussed this after the film. My biggest problem was I don't want to go into details, but there's this part where they try to make a very sad moment.
Oh yeah.
Like again, I'm not going to go into details. I'm just going to explain it. You'll know it when you see it. There's a part where they find out something. You know, the two dogs, they find out something, and it's something pretty major. Okay, something really major.
Right.
And they just talk about it for that moment.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just for that moment, and then they never talk about it again.
Yeah. I agree.
For the rest, they never talk about it again for the rest of the movie.
Yeah, it was they could have really built on it, but yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know why. I don't know. It's almost like they wrote that and then they had to hurry and they just totally forgot that part even happened.
And like when they actually revealed it, like the way they revealed it wasn't even that impactful. Like
yeah, I know, right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I understand. I understand that too. And it was a good movie overall. There was some pretty unbelievable stuff in there too that I felt like it was kind of rushed. The whole entire movie was rushed, but not necessarily rushed in such a horrible way because it was all pretty put together pretty good. But the whole movie took place in one day.
Yeah, no, I obviously can't go into detail on what all happens, but like they do a whole bunch of crap in this movie.
Yeah.
That would usually take several hours.
Yeah.
And yet the whole movie takes place in one day. Like I don't know how all these owners, the pet owners, like spend all day away from their house.
Yeah.
Like literally all the pets owners came back like late at night.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I understand that. And there's some parts whenever they're trying to find something that's like really hard. Like it'd be really hard to find these things, you know.
Right.
Like if I was looking for them, and it's almost like they talk about it, and the next scene they're there.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
like how it doesn't explain how they get there. Like they go through all this like crap through everything else, but whenever they're trying to find these things, just to kind of quicken up the movie a little bit, they just find it like right away.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I agree. Yeah, so I think that's pretty much all the points we were wanting to bring up.
Mm-hmm.
So, overall, I was actually expecting it to be, like, we're so opposite on this. I was expecting it to be good, and it was a little, I wouldn't say worse, because it wasn't, like, a bad movie, but it was lower than my expectations were. So I'm going to give it a B-.
Mm. Yeah, I actually was expecting this movie to not be good at all. Even though I saw the trailers and it was slightly like interesting, I didn't really see where they could.
I'm a huge pet lover, so
yeah.
I was expecting it to be good.
But yeah, I actually started this off before whenever we talked about the grades earlier, right after we saw the movie. I was actually about to give it a B+. But then later on in the night is when I started thinking about how unoriginal it kind of was, which it wasn't like completely. I'm not gonna say it wasn't completely. I'm not gonna say it was completely unoriginal.
Right.
Okay. Obviously, there's a lot of stuff that happens in this movie.
Yeah.
But just the fact that it was so close to Toy Story, and I feel like Illumination, if they're gonna go anywhere, they really need to come up with some actual like some good ideas that don't have any way of pointing toward Pixar. Because even if it wasn't on purpose, you know, people know Pixar too much. You know, they need to study more into Pixar and understand what not to follow, what they need to kind of move away from,
right?
So they can be their own thing. And so overall, I'm gonna actually lower mine down from a B+, and I'm gonna lower it down to a B-.
Okay.
Yeah. I know it's the same grade as his. I didn't get influenced by him. I just started thinking about the Toy Story thing later on. So yeah. So that's our thing, and it's actually a really enjoyable movie. I'm not even gonna lie.
Yeah.
So you know, even though some of the bad things I say, it's a very enjoyable movie. So go ahead and go see.
It's more funnier than the usual kids movie.
There is one part in this movie that involves sausages that
No.
were very amazing.
Oh my gosh.
I don't really.
That's a really random part.
Yeah.
but
So
it's-
look forward to that scene because I don't know why, but that was one of my favorite scenes in the entire movie. But yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. If you want to, go down. I'm gonna point down. Hopefully it's down here. Okay.
Yeah.
This might be a subscribe button. Click on that
Okay.
if you're interested in this.
And we also have a Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter page. They're both Two Awesome Men, and the Facebook or the Instagram and Twitter are at Two Awesome Men.
And we just now put up a new segment called Moronic Movie Mayhem. And the very first movie we did on that was Christian Mingle the movie. So go check that out. If you have any ideas for movie reviews that we can review, no matter what they are, if the Moronic Movie Mayhem is movies that should not be reviewed at all, if you have any ideas for that, whether or not they're crap or not, we'd actually rather them be crap.
Yeah.
And so if you have any ideas for that, any ideas for anything we should do, obscure movies, just let us know. We'll love to do that.
Yeah, and one last thing, we did finally get editing software. We got Adobe Creative Cloud, so we'll be using that from now on. And we're in the process of getting microphones because we know that our audio is pretty bad, so we're trying to improve that. But we haven't got the microphones yet, but we will soon.
Thank you so much for watching this video, okay? And you'll see us next time. Thank you.